What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Miguelito To Toe. Just like I promised before the fight, I'm back with my full post-fight analysis of Errol Spence Jr. versus Tim Tszyu. The fight is officially in the books, and Tim Tszyu defeated Errol Spence Jr. by unanimous decision. The official judges' scorecards were Judge number 1, 118-110 for Tim Tszyu. Judge number 2, 117-111 for Tim Tszyu. Judge number 3, 117-111 for Tim Tszyu. A dominant performance on the scorecards that showed Tszyu was able to take control as the fight went on. Following the fight, Errol Spence announced his retirement from professional boxing. Now let's break down what happened, what both fighters did right, what mistakes they made, and what this means moving forward. The opening rounds were competitive. Errol Spence came out looking sharp, using his jab and showing flashes of the fighter who once ruled the welterweight division. He controlled distance early, landed clean straight left hands, and showed the experience that made him one of boxing's elite fighters. But as the fight progressed, Tim Tszyu started making adjustments. Tszyu began cutting off the ring, attacking the body, and forcing Spence into a fight that became more physical and demanding. By the championship rounds, Tszyu was the fresher fighter and was controlling the pace, while Spence relied on his toughness and experience to make it to the final bell. The judges' scorecards reflected what happened inside the ring. Tszyu was the fighter who continued to improve as the fight went on. What Errol Spence Jr. did right. Even in defeat, Errol Spence showed why he became one of the best fighters of this generation. His jab was effective early. He controlled the range and found success with his straight left hand. Spence also showed incredible heart. He never quit. He never looked for a way out. He continued competing until the final bell against a dangerous opponent. His experience and ring IQ were on display throughout the fight, especially early when he was able to slow down Tszyu's pressure. And one thing deserves respect. Spence chose a difficult challenge. He didn't take an easy comeback fight. He stepped right back into the fire against one of the toughest fighters available. Mistakes Errol Spence Jr. made. The biggest factor was the long layoff. After nearly 3 years away from the ring, the timing and the sharpness that made Spence special were not always there. As the fight continued, his combinations slowed down. His footwork wasn't as active. He struggled to maintain his pressure. He allowed Tszyu to dictate the pace. Once Tszyu started attacking the body and increasing the pressure, Spence wasn't able to make the adjustments needed to take control back. What Tszyu did right. Tim Tszyu delivered the biggest performance of his career. The most impressive part was his discipline. He didn't rush. He didn't chase a knockout. He trusted his game plan. Tszyu's consistency. Cut off the ring. Attacked the body. Forced Spence to work every round. Maintained the pressure without becoming reckless. His conditioning stood out. As the fight entered the later rounds, Tszyu looked like the fresher fighter. He stayed calm, stayed focused, and fought with the confidence of someone who believed he belonged at the highest level. Mistakes Tim Tszyu made. Even after a great victory, there's always things to improve. Early in the fight, Tszyu gave Spence opportunities to establish his jab. There were moments where he could have increased the pressure sooner. He also loaded up on some big shots instead of letting combinations flow. Against other elite fighters, those openings could be dangerous. But overall, Tszyu executed his strategy and stayed disciplined. Errol Spence Jr. announces retirement. After the fight, Errol Spence Jr. announces retirement from boxing. He leaves the sport with an incredible legacy, a former unified welterweight champion, a fighter who defeated names like Kell Brook, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Yordenis Ugas. Spence was one of the most respected pressure fighters of his generation. His career will always be remembered for his toughness, his body punching, and his willingness to fight the best. Thank you to Earl the Truth Spence Jr. for the memories he gave boxing fans. What this means for Tim Tszyu. This victory changes Tim Tszyu's career. He now has the biggest name win on his resume. This proves he can compete with elite level fighters and puts him right back into the championship conversation. The question now becomes, what's next? Can Tszyu capture another world title? Can he become the face of the middleweight division? After this performance, those opportunities are there. This fight represented the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Errol Spence Jr. walked away from boxing as a champion who gave fans unforgettable moments. Tim Tszyu walked away with the biggest victory of his career. One era ended, another one may have started. Thank you for watching another episode of Miguelito To Toe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with every boxing fan you know. Let me know in the comments. Did the judges get it right? Was retirement the right decision for Errol Spence? And who should Tim Tszyu fight next? Until next time, keep your hands up, keep supporting boxing, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Miguelito To Toe.